guy to go with. We had 1,200 people standing room only the last night, and Bill said, how many people here that have been here the last 2 days, how many of you have been healed? Over 700 people. I could bore you with a lot of the things that went on. You've heard that people get prayed for it and they hear or they see. We had one man who was MS, who started the week. He was able to just barely lift his foot. By the third day, he stood up out of his chair and took 5 steps. What's beautiful about that is he was given a word. See, his daughter's getting married December the 19th. He wants to walk her down the aisle. There was an experience that we had that you might enjoy. Bill was in the middle of his preaching, and a fellow walks down the aisle, and this guy, actually he was playing Monopoly without a get-out-of-jail card. If you don't know Monopoly, then this guy was in jail, and he didn't know how to get out. And Bill handled it so beautifully. I mean, I wish that you could have seen, here's a person who is going to be terribly disruptive, and Bill handled it so beautifully, and you got to be prepared for that. You're going to be up in front of people. Sooner or later, that's going to happen. I can tell all kinds of stories about the lady that came down and couldn't hardly walk with her cane, and she walked up the aisle holding her cane. Yeah. Or the fellow who came down with bad knees and on crutches, hobbling, and literally ran up there. In fact, Randy Clark said, come back, I want your testimony. He was out of there. The one thing I do want to remind you of, though, you're going to have an opportunity to do words of knowledge. And when you do this, don't use somebody else's word of knowledge. It might get you in trouble. Where's Lloyd? Is Lloyd here this morning? Lloyd kept messing me up. He was standing over here and he was reading my mail. He kept getting my words of knowledge. I had to keep coming up with things that I didn't feel they can work. So the second night, he did the same thing. So I spoke to 2 words of knowledge. He's already stolen one. So I remember this girl that came up to me earlier, and she said, I've got this word of knowledge. You just got to give it tonight. And she was just standing there. So I remembered that. I said, okay, I'll give her word of knowledge. And the word of knowledge was, she said that there's somebody that has a bad right hip and pain to the left of her tailbone. So I'm up here trying to remember what it was she said. And I said, there is somebody here with pain in her right hip and pain in her left tailbone. At which point in time, Bill stops, stands up, and you really don't want to be put down in front of the entire congregation by your mentor, but Bill had to remind them that we did not teach at Bethel that there were 2 tailbones. But I just want you to remember this, no matter how good or bad your word of knowledge is. John Cooper, are you here? Well, John's not here either. There he is. Just so you'll know, even though as bad as my word of knowledge was, John went out in the congregation, found the person, and they were healed. Woo! Come on!